saying that he is doing well. Even some of his, or majority, many of his predecessors have commended him, assuring that giving him support for uh, his next bid for governor of the state. And other stakeholders have as well commended the governor, saying he has done excellently well. When you look at the way he has managed governance, administrations, specifically to the betterment of the people of Ekiti State. But however, many have also said that more needs to be done, that results are not yet seen. Many have raised concerns as to some of the policies and implementations of the government of the day, questioning how they really affect the populace or the Ekiti people at large. So, talking about the budget, part of the criticism, or let me say part of the reactions that have trailed that development, is that coming from particularly the opposition. A member of the opposition, some members of the opposition have raised concerns about some of the money or the amount that is being earmarked to certain areas in the budget. Others have also questioned the duplication, what they describe as duplication, recurrent and having the same issues or spending money on some certain things every year. So part of this development is going to form, or part of this reaction, or less majorly, some of this reaction is going to form the basis of our conversation today. But let me say that we're going to get a balance to this conversation later on, probably before the week runs out. We're going to bring in, we're waiting for the review from the Commissioner of Budget. Once that is done, we'll get a response to all of this. But we cannot but talk about some of these reactions, which has generated several controversies in the public space. There is a statement from the caretaker chairman of the People's Democratic Party, that's Mr. Dari Adeleke, raising concern as to the development so far. I'm trying to get the statement and read out so that a lot of people, Ekiti people, would understand or would know the concerns specifically being raised by the caretaker chairman there. Now, okay, I found it. It says citizens of Ekiti State are stunned and, petrified by what Governor Oyebanji presented as a budget to the House of Assembly. The budget reeks of corruption and shows clearly that Oyebanji has no regard whatsoever for the struggling of the people. While Ekiti decays in neglect and excruciating poverty, it is most unfortunate that Oyebanji's priorities are appropriating money to the mundane with an over 1,000% hike embedded in every item listed. But, like I said earlier, we're going to get response to all of this. But the major issue there, which is the real problem, is when you see the budget, because I was studying the budget earlier this week, last week, and what many have raised concern about is the amount of money being raised as to the development of the governor's office and that of his deputy and many other government and many other things that were many other projects rather that were money were budgeted for. And the concern is that let's put it into question. Why is Ekiti State government planning to spend 150 million naira on the purchase of household equipment such as refrigerator, dishwashers, blender, and air conditioners? These represent a staggering 1,400% increase from the 2024 allocation of 10 million naira. This is another reaction coming from a member of the PDP. And it says, what is the basis of or for such an enormous increase when inflation is projected to decline in 2025? Okay, if you do not know, for some who haven't seen or who have not been able to get hold of the budget, it's on the state's website. You might also go there and see some of the money marked for some certain projects in the year 2025. The budget is one thing that it's just like a plan that everything that the government is going to do must be accounted for, and that's the essence of having budget and planning and all of that. But while I was conversing with someone yesterday, he said that we should not also forget that these budgets sometimes they do not government did not often use all of the money. It is just an estimation. Sometimes it may not be up to that. The total spendings may not up to that. It may even be more. That's why we have supplementary and all of that. So that's on one side. All right, let's go into some of the highlights, some of the concerns that have been raised. It says renovation of furnishing of government house chalets jumped from 100 million naira in 2024 to 400 million naira in 2025, an increase of 300%. Renovation of Okayaba and other government chalets is allocated at 100 million naira, doubling its 2024 budget of 50 million naira. Construction works within government house has been allocated for 450 million naira, a shocking 800% increase from the 2024 allocation of 50 million naira. Well, this project and all of that, I would say that if the government really there are reasons why, let's put it this way, there are reasons why these allocations or this certain amount of money are being earmarked as to some of this development, if you would ask me. But then, like I said, we'll get reactions from the government, of course, definitely. But this is coming first as we'll get answers, let's put it that way. But this is coming first as a reaction. So we'll, in the course of the program, we'll be joined by a member of the PDP to enlighten us further as to some of the things or some of the concerns they've raised in this budget presentation. Stay with us, everyone. We'll be right back after the short break.
Let the righteous take over this wicked world. Let our workers of iniquity be chased out of creation. Oh, let the righteous take over the earth. Let the righteous take over this wicked world. Let
Welcome back from that break. We hope that we'll be having the spokesperson for the caretaker committee, chairman of the People's Democratic Party, speak with us on the show this morning. But we've been trying to reach him, but it seems the network is quite unfriendly this morning. So it's going to be me and you going forward as to some of the questions that had been asked as to the budget that was presented, the Ekiti State budget. One thing about budget is that it's oftentimes, or each time there are presentation, there are always reactions, either from other commendations or the other way around. So there are questions being asked as to some of these implement this government implementations and all of that. There are questions around transparency and accountability. There are questions as to economic growth and development. There are questions as to consultation and engagement with stakeholders, including citizens, civil society organizations, and private sectors in the budget preparation process. There are questions as to the priorities of the people, how reflective it is in the implementation or in the proposing in the estimated budget. That's the one we're talking about this moment. Then there are questions as to the role that the House of Assembly play in scrutinizing the budget and holding the executive accountable. As a matter of fact, some of the concerns raised is that just as it was presented to the House, it is the same way it was brought back for signing, raising questions as to what exactly is or what role that the State House of Assembly play in scrutinizing the process. Talking about economic development, there are questions as to, the strategies and processes and how would allocation or allocated resources be supporting some of the initiatives of the government of the day. And also political implications, of course. There are political implications as to all of this. So these are some of the questions we hope that we could throw to both parties, both on the government side and also those who feel some certain things are not right with the budget. Like I said earlier, there have been there is always a reaction as to every government's policies. There are some who would find it to be good and in time. There are some who would also find it to be unfavorable to the people. As a matter of fact, what many have said so far as to the or what many have criticized so far as to the development in some of government initiative is that it is anti-people. But majority will say, when we look at it on a more critical note, you would say that okay, this is really not anti-people. So I'm trying to get hold of the budget and read the particular one, which is the main issue here, which is the cause of this controversy. That's the one for the governor's office and some other increment in the budget as to the one. All right, I found it. It says purchase of household equipment, e.g., refrigerators, dishwashers, blenders, mixers, gas cookers, air conditioners, etc., for government house. Adoikiti, 150 million naira. Then renovation and furnishing of government house, Charlotte, Adoikiti, 400 million naira. Construction of works within government house and Adoikiti, 450. Renovation of Okeayaba and others, government 100. So the amount keeps, increasing to towards that of last year. Last year, the one which had 150 million this year had 10. The one which had 400 million had 100. The one which had 450 had 50. So it goes on and on. Also, yes, also you would expect as well that the Deputy Governor's Office, Ekiti State Bounty Commission, all of these areas are also having their own budget. But the issue is that there are increase. Some will call it whooping increase compared to last year. And the concern is that the same thing, or there is no need. Yes, the concern specifically is that there is no need for another renovation, since it was renovated last year, and it should be managed according to some oppositions, saying that why should there be another renovation. And there are questions as to part of the reaction coming from a member of the PDP, which is Chief Otumba Peter Obafemi, in Ikole Ekiti State. He says, at a time when Ekiti State faces pressing challenges, unfounded schools, rising insecurity, and struggling small businesses, and all of that, he now said these extravagant allocations are not only but utterly irresponsible. Those were his words. He now called on the governor and the speaker to explain to the people of Ekiti State or give honest answers. All right. So that's the reaction there. But like I said, the State Commissioner of Budget is expected to make this budget analysis. So we hope, we are waiting, honestly, we are patiently waiting for him to give the budget analysis. So by the time that is done, we hope explanations being made as to some of these things, or the answers that these oppositions have required, have called for, or the questions they've raised will be answered by then. We hope that very soon, in no time, the budget analysis will be made, and we hope that all of these issues will be answered soon. So that's the development so far there. But then there is something that we cannot but talk about, which is how some of these things affect the people, how some of government policies, when you look at the implementations of some of this government reforms, how they affect the people so far. Quite a number of, when you look at the reactions coming from the people, basically, as to the development in the state, many would say, well, the government of the day is really trying its best, except for some members of the oppositions and some other concerned citizens who would say that, okay, how about looking at these areas? How about looking at these areas? How about looking at these areas? This is just a basic analysis. But then, oftentimes we've had conversations, even with public affairs analysts, not even those in government, who would say that, look, when you raise certain concerns like this, we can't solve all of the problems. That has been the claim of many, saying that we can't solve all of the problems, but they can only try their best. Earlier, last year, you recall that when we had Dr. Goshino in the show, he told us something which was quite interesting. He said the narrative will still almost be the same when those at the other side, those who are criticizing, are holding the power at this time. They will always find something to talk about. So, thus, even the president oftentimes has reiterated that, yesterday, was it yesterday or Saturday, where he was saying that I don't mind if you abuse me, I don't mind if you do this or do that, but I am committed to making Nigeria a developed country. So, when we look at it on this side and on the other side, both sides have one or two things to say. But then, I think at this point, I should leave it to listeners at home to make contributions. 07047007701 or 0707276678. Those are the lines to call to be, to also make your own contributions so far. It's a new year. It's a new year indeed, and quite a lot of expectations. The government, the governor, oftentimes assured of his commitment to bettering the lives of the people in this new year. You'd also remember that he said that he had fulfilled 90% of his promises to the people. And he has also expressed more commitment as to, hello, we have a call there. Let's pick this call. Hello, good morning.
Yes, my name is David.
Your name is what? We can't hear you.
My name is David.
Philip, from where?
I'm calling from Eruku.
Enugu.
Eruku City.
Eruku City, at where, please?
Ekiti, Kwara State.
Okay, Eruku in Kwara State. Okay, please go ahead.
Yes, this how the government are trying. Seriously, this our government are not trying at all. Because they usually promise without fulfillment.
Go ahead.
So I don't think how this thing will work.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Philip from Eruku in Kwara State. Well, the government would not agree with you that it is not trying. It would always say it is trying. Well, you are entitled to your own opinion as well. So, like I was saying earlier before the call came in. By the way, the studio line is still open: 07047007701 or 07072766278. The government has oftentimes, reiterated its commitment as to the development of the people. When you look at the New Year message of the governor and some other stakeholders, that of the some other stakeholders within the state, they've always raised concern as to the commitment of the state government to bettering the lives of the people this morning. Yes, we hope we were expecting to have conversations or to bring on board the spokesperson of the APC caretaker committee to enlighten us on some of the concerns that their party or their group have raised towards this issue. But network could not allow us to do that. That's why it's going to be me and you, like I said, and the studio line is still open: 07047007701 or 07072766278. You can also make reactions as to those things.
Let the righteous